Hi, my name is Wade, and in this video, I'm going to summarize what I learned in ethics and information technology. In my opinion, this course was less about taking away specific information and specific knowledge, and it was more about changing the way that we think about ethics moving forward. In my lifetime, there are probably going to be a number of high impact, rapid technological developments, and I think that this course is going to change the way that I process those as they happen. Before the course began, I thought about ethics as a personal concept. Everyone has their own concept of what's ethically appropriate and what's not. And I always just assumed that ethics were about how each personal choice was changed by someone's own personal value set. I've taken ethics courses before, and most of them are very like, you're presented with a difficult decision and you have to make a tough call and justify that tough call. This course went beyond the personal level. I now understand that like objects and technologies and ideas have their own ethical atmosphere. Ethics are a part of design and testing and crisis control and so many different things I'd never considered before. The first reading we did was called Natural Normativity, and it was a study on animals, and it explained how our behavioral norms are kind of based around the goals that we're working towards as a species. This was a strong choice for the first reading. It really made me consider why my actions are what they are, and I found that it was kind of like a precursor for the autoethnography assignment we would later do. Our main reading material for the course was a book called The Dangerous Master by Wendell Wallach. I have mixed feelings on the book. On one hand, I do think it added depth to my understanding of ethics, so I do appreciate that I read it. I do like the way the book is structured, almost like an essay. So Wendell Wallach is arguing that the rapid pace or acceleration of technological developments is going to create a ton of problems for us in the future. Each chapter in the book is kind of like a point in the essay. And many of those points I had actually never considered before. I do think that the grim tone of the book is a little counterintuitive because, Wendell Wallach is arguing that we need to do all these things, but he's also saying that it's too late to do any of those things. So what are we supposed to take away from what Wendell Wallach is saying? The writing is also a weak point in the book, in my opinion. The book is almost written like an instruction manual. So it's very plain, and there are run-on sentences, and the sentences all kind of are structured the same. The author uses a ton of examples as well, and some of these examples go on for so long that it seems like they're just going in circles. And the main point the author is trying to argue kind of gets lost sometimes. Still, I think that the book made sense as main reading material. It goes with the course greatly, and I did learn from it, so I'm glad I read it. Our professor's teaching style definitely made an impact on what I learned. Dr. Strangelove often dives into rants about technology and sociology and capitalism and politics and so on, and how they all link together. I actually really like these rants. I know our professors apologized for them, but I actually really like them. I think they give us something that we don't really get enough of in university classes. It's obviously off-road, like off material, but there is like a human element to them that I really appreciate. And especially when you consider how dry the readings were, I think that this extra perspective really added to what we were learning. The autoethnography project was a huge source of learning for me as well. I took notes on my own technology use, I considered the reasons that I was using the technologies, and I considered the ethical impact as well. For the autoethnography portion, I would say the main thing I took away was that my understanding of how multitasking works has definitely changed. In my project, I was looking at using technologies in conjunction with each other. So I was able to realize that maybe when you're using so many technologies at once, you're not actually getting all of the benefits. On the last day of class, I was asked if anything surprised me from my project, and I initially said no, but actually something did really surprise me. For my presentation, I was going to include statistics on e-waste, and I knew that the numbers would be high, but I didn't realize how high they would be and how they were increasing. I think that e-waste is a term that I'm going to hear about probably for the rest of my life, so it is good that I was able to work on a project where I was able to consider how big of a problem it is. In conclusion, this course had many different learning opportunities, from the readings to the in-class experience to the projects. As technological developments continue to occur, I'm now going to look at them with a different lens and a different perspective, and I'm really going to be able to consider the impact that they have on the environment and on people and on myself.